Andy, crazy topsy-turvy game.
Yeah. Yeah, initial thoughts are, I think I'm probably pleased to get a point from the position that we're in at 3-0 down. I just didn't think we would get to that point the way that we started the game and the way that we were playing. So yeah, that's got to be a positive. I've just said, I think, to the boys in there that sometimes in seasons that in title runnings, or whatever you want to call it, you need momentum swings. And to be fair, to go from 3-0 down, I don't even know when we scored the first of the 3 goals to get back, but there could have only been, what, 25 minutes left at that point. And then to get the equaliser as late as we did, that is a momentum swinger. And I'm hoping that now gives us a little nudge back to being a bit more confident in the right direction, because we've just had a couple of weeks where we really haven't performed.
What did you say to the team at half-time?
At half-time was probably the first time that I've really given them a rocket. I just didn't think it was an acceptable performance. I thought the work rate wasn't there, I thought the quality wasn't there. We weren't really playing with any identity, where we'd started to develop a bit more identity in our game and especially our shape. But today was just, nothing was there. And I said before the game that after the performance of last week, going out in the cup semi-final, which is always disappointing, the key thing for me today is all about reaction. And we didn't react, unfortunately. Like, maybe that was down to the team that we selected, I don't know, but certainly the reaction I expected didn't arrive.
Yeah, we wanted to ask you about that as well. You made 5 changes to the starting lineup. Was that just because of the hangover from losing the semi-final to Punjab?
Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, we had a couple of players which have been carrying knocks for a little while. So Lewis Chambers got injured in the Phoenix game, but has played pretty much since then with that knock, which is a bruised bone just above his ankle. And Jay Wade has been carrying a bit of a niggling groin injury for probably 3 to 4 months, to be honest. And I think it just come to a point where it's starting to actually impact his gameplay. So yeah, other than that, it was purely, again, I said to the boys that after a performance like last week, where I really felt it was flat, we didn't show again enough desire to go and win a cup semi-final, is that there's two ways that you can approach the next game. And for me, it was either do you give the players the opportunity to put it right, so you stick with the same side and give them that opportunity, or do you give players who have sit and watched that performance last week as well the opportunity to come in and take their chance in the side? I went for that option, thinking that was the right thing to do. In hindsight, maybe it wasn't. So, look, we have to try and make the right decisions, and we talk things through as a management team on how we want to line up, and that was the approach we took. I think it's probably fair to say, given the first half performance, that wasn't the right approach. We've had to make the changes at half time. We made 3 changes, changed our shape, and then that was obviously an improvement, despite again conceding the 3rd goal at the start of the second half. We've obviously come out of the game with something, so that is a positive. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it was obvious the change of formation as well, that we went with 2 up top in the second half, and it seemed to create more chances for the team. Yeah,
so Danny Leo obviously back from injury, and I felt last week we lacked anyone that can run in behind up top. To be fair, like Tunder's been brilliant, and he's been on a really hot streak scoring goals. That's kind of dried up the last couple of weeks, and I felt like he was very isolated last week. That's not of his own doing. That's a team thing that has occurred. But I think that he had chances still last week. Their keepers played really well last week. To be fair, made a couple of good saves from him. But I just felt like we needed legs today, and I thought they defensively. I know they've got the big tall centre half who was very good in the air. But I thought if we actually played the right way, we could exploit them running in channels and getting in behind. But unfortunately, we just didn't play that way at all, to be fair. Danny's worked hard, but we needed to get 2 of them up there, especially being 2-0 down and wanting to go and win the game. And I think, yeah, to be fair, that did create a bit more havoc. We've obviously brought Brad on early because we've lost RJ to a knee injury, but it took Brad a little while to get into the game, I thought, and then finally, again, once we changed the shape, he did as well, and had an impact, obviously winning a penalty to make it 3-1. So, yeah, those changes, I think, look, we can criticise and we'll hold our hands up if we make mistakes on our selection and set up at the start of the game. We can take a little bit of credit for maybe making those changes at half time to get something out of the game. So it swings and roundabouts, really.
We've probably had a little bit of a blip in form over the last 3 games. Do you see this comeback point as maybe a momentum shift?
Absolutely. I think it massively is. I think performances have been poor. I think K-Sports at home, again, first half we wasn't good, and then we had a period of time, I think it was about 10 minutes, we scored 4 goals and killed the games. And if you actually think back throughout the season, that's a lot of how we've won a lot of the games we have, is just when we've just upped it for small periods of the game to just kill the game off. I still don't really think we've been really consistent for 90 minutes throughout the game. I mean, we're not going to be, like, we have to appreciate the level of football we're playing, but I still think that we've certainly lacked those periods in the last couple of games to go and beat teams. Today we've obviously got away with one with a very late equaliser, so that is a big momentum swing. We go back to Punjab next week now in the league, which is going to be a very tough game given our performance and result there last week. So again, it's all going to be about reaction, how we react as a group to picking up a point and not all 3. And yeah, we've got to make sure we get a result next week.
2 of our goals today were penalties. Do you have a view on either of those?
I've seen, from my perspective, I think they're both clear penalties. The first one, once Brad gets into the box on the ball, he's very tricky with his feet. He's won us a lot of penalties like that, and it looked like he got clipped to me. I thought the ref was in a very good position and made the right decision. And then the second one, again, from where I was, it looked like it was a block with an outstretched arm to me. So I can't really fault either of those decisions. I think, I'll be honest, I think that the ref actually had a fairly average, very good game. The only questionable decision was perhaps a second yellow for their left back after he made a foul once Wardy had got past him, but he deemed that wasn't enough that warranted another yellow card, and he explained that to me. I think they were probably a little bit unhappy at the amount of added on time, but we only had 4 minutes added on, which is probably about right for what happened in the incidents in the game. And actually, we didn't kick off till about 12 minutes past 4. So, I mean, there's no real argument there. So, that's just what you have to accept happens. We've had it a couple of times where we've conceded in the 97th minute twice when there's only been 5 minutes added on, but you have to just accept it. It's not nice. I give Lordswood a lot of credit to the way they played. I thought they were a very good young side. They worked very hard, they played some good stuff, and obviously it's going to be a tough one for them to swallow, but that's how football goes sometimes.
Definitely, and it's quite nice that things may have balanced themselves out a little bit, because we have conceded late.
Yeah, we have. We've had it twice in the league, Whitstable away and obviously Phoenix away, and that's denied us an extra 4 points. And going back to obviously the FA Cup at the start of the season at Rains Park, Val, when we conceded in the last minute of, was that extra time or injury time? That was late as well. So yeah, look, it happens. Normally things even themselves out, as you say, over the course of a season. So we'll take it and we'll use it as a positive, and we'll move into next week.
Yeah, you touched on it there. Looking ahead, Punjab next week. Is it nice to be able to go back to Punjab and maybe get some revenge?
I think so. If I'm a player, anyone that gets one over you, you're just desperate to get one back on them. So going back there, it's a tricky pitch there. They know how to play it very well. I think they've got a very good home record, to be honest. But given the fact that we have only just come away from there, I think we know what to expect, and that will help us a lot. So we'll train Tuesday. We'll train well. We'll work the boys as well, because I just think we've got to, as I said, keep that momentum from this result today into training through the rest of the week, into the game next Saturday, and see where we end up there.
Super. We go again then on Saturday.
We will.
Thanks for your time, Andy.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.